Good morning, good morning, good morning, and welcome back to Morning Stir and Through the Bible with Yolanda Worldwide here on YouTube. I'm so glad you're here. For those of you joining in as a replay viewer, go ahead and leave your mark by giving me a hashtag replay in the comments. And if you're brand new, let me know that as well. And be sure to click that subscribe button right now so that you don't miss anything in the future. Now, for those of you who are joining in live, you know I call you my people, my people, my people. Number one, go ahead and greet me in whatever way you do in your part of the world. Number two, let me know where in the world you're joining in from. Number three, please help me share this broadcast far and wide. Number four, help me by clicking the little thumbs up on the screen. And number five, if you are, go ahead and let me know. I'm stirred up. I'm stirred up. And if you're like me, I'm always stirred all the way up. We're going to go ahead and dive right in so that we can get through the readings today. I am going to be reading, we're finishing up chapter 50. We finish up chapter 50 and finishing off the book of Jeremiah today and see how far we go from there. Let's begin to pray. Rakata da 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 bakoreke de bataya, randi ikarakata, rokotelede de bakoreke de bataya, randi ikarakata, rokotelede de bakoreke de bataya, mandi ikar da 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 bakoreke de bata, randi ikarakata da da baya, rekete de bakoreke de bataya, randi ikarakata da 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 baya, rekete de bakoreke de bataya, randi ikarakataya, rokotelede de bakoreke de bata, randi ikarakata. Randi akarakada da 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 baya, rekete de bakoreke de bataya, rokote de bakoreke de bata, randi ikarakata, rokote de bakoreke de bataya, randi ikarakata de bakoreke de bataya, randi ile bakoreke de bakoreke de bata, randi ikarakata ya la bakoreke de baya, rakata de bakoreke de bataya, randi ikaya bakoreke de baya, rekete de bakoreke de bata, randi ikarakata rokote de bakoreke de bataya rakata yala bakoreke de bakoreke de bata randi ikarakata o koshete te randi ikarakata mandi ikarakataya rokote de bakoreke de bataya mandi ikarakata de bakoreke de bata rakata de bakoreke de bataya rakata de bakoreke de bataya randi ikarakata de bakoreke de bata rokote de bakoreke de bataya Mandi ikaraka de bakoreke de bataya, roko de bakoreke de bata, randi ikaraka teaya, randi ikaraka de bakoreke de bataya, randi ikaraka de bakoreke de bataya, randi yana rokoreke de bataya, bakoreke de bata, randi ikaraka de bakoreke de bataya, rakata de bakoreke de bataya, rikete de bakoreke de bataya, roko de bakoreke de bataya, mandi ikaraka de bakoreke de bata, mandi ika yarabakore kere bataya rekete de bakore kere bataya rekete de bakore kere bataya rekete de bakore kere bataya rokote de bakore kere bataya randi ikarakata tata bakore kere bata randi ikarakata tata bakore kere bata mandi ikarakara da bakore kere bataya mandi ika yarabakore kere de bakore kere bataya rakate de bakore kere bata rakata de bakore kere bataya randi ikarakata tata o koreke de bakoreke de bataya. Mandiara bakoreke de bata, rakata de bakoreke de bataya, rakata de bakoreke de bataya, rakata de bakoreke de bata, randi ika rakata tata, o koreke de bakoreke de bataya, mandi ika yara bakoreke de bakaya, rakata de bakoreke de bata, yele bakoreke te, rokota de bakaya rabakoreke de bataya, mandi ika rakata de baya, rekete de bakoreke de bataya, rokota de bakoreke de bataya, rekete de bakoya de bakoreke de bataya, rokota de bakoreke de bakoreke de bakoreke de bakoreke de bakoreke de bakoreke de bata. Ha rakata de bakoya de bakoreke de bakoreke. Oh God. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Jesus. The word that I heard in my spirit was pivot, that this is the season for a pivot. Proverbs 16:9 says, the human heart plans the way, but the Lord establishes the steps. There are times, this is hitting deeply personal today, that we feel like we've heard from God. And all the signs present themselves to confirm that we've heard from God. But then all of a sudden, something doesn't seem right. But because you've invested time in a thing and time in a direction or time in a task or time in a relationship or time concerning a vision or a goal, you don't want to release and lose the ground that you feel like you have gained. But if you really evaluate the matter, you'll realize that you've actually been stagnant all the time. The human heart plans the way, but the Lord establishes the steps. It is never too late to really hear and obey God. And God is saying, it's time to pivot. And from what I'm feeling and what I'm sensing in majority of the cases, you've had no idea that this shift was coming. But it's imperative that you surrender all that you are and everything you have to God. Because when you pivot, you will indeed be able to reset and see things crystal clear. Now is the time. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next month when you get another warning. Now is the time to pivot. Thank you, Holy Ghost. And I'm going to leave that right there. This is deeply personal for me, y'all. The prayer that I've been in this room just before getting on. And that word didn't come to me during that prayer. But it seems it's come to me as a result of that prayer. And even I have to pivot in some things. Jeremiah, the 50th chapter. I'm going to bounce back up to the 35th verse to make sure I don't skip any because we had to cut in the middle of that chapter to be sensitive of the time. It's all out war in Babylon, God's decree. Total war against people, leaders, and the wise. War to the death on her boasting pretenders, fools, one and all. War to the death on her soldiers, cowards to a man. War to the death on her hired killers, gutless wonders. War to the death on her banks, looted. War to the death on her water supply, drained dry. A land of make-believe gods gone crazy. Whole hobgoblins. The place will be haunted with jackals and scorpions, night owls and vampire bats. No one will ever live there again. The land will reek with the stench of death. It will join Sodom and Gomorrah and their neighbors, the cities I did away with. God's decree. No one will live there again. No one will again draw breath in that land ever. And now, watch this. People pouring out of the north, hordes of people, a mob of kings stirred up from far off places, flourishing deadly weapons. Barbarians, they are cruel and pitiless, roaring and relentless like ocean breakers. They come riding fierce stallions in battle formation, ready to fight. You, daughter Babylon. Babylon's king hears them coming. He goes white as a ghost, limp as a dish rag, terror stricken. He doubles up in pain, helpless to fight, like a woman giving birth to a baby. And now, watch this, like a lion coming up from the thick jungle of the Jordan, looking for prey in the mountain pastures. I'll take over and pounce. I'll take my pick of the flock. And who's to stop me? All the so called shepherds are hopeless before me. So listen to this plan that God has worked out against Babylon, the blueprint of what he's prepared for dealing with Chaldea. Believe it or not, the young, the vulnerable, mere lambs and kids will be dragged off. Believe it or not, the flock in shock, helpless to help, watches it happen. When the shout goes up, Babylon's down. The very earth will shudder at the ground. The news will be heard all over the world. Chapter 51. There's more. God says more. Watch this. I'm whipping up a death dealing hurricane against Babylon, Hurricane Persia against all who live in the perverse land. I'm sending a cleanup crew into Babylon. They'll clean the place out from the top to bottom. When they get through, there'll be nothing left of her worth taking or talking about. They won't miss a thing. A total and final doomsday. Fighters will fight with everything they've got. It's no holds barred. They will spare nothing and no one. It's final and wholesale destruction, the end. Babylon littered with the wounded, streets piled with corpses. It turns out that Israel and Judah are not widowed after all. As their God of the angel armies, I am still alive and well, committed to them, even though they filled their land with sin against Israel's most holy God. Get out of Babylon as fast as you can. Run for your lives. Save your necks. Don't linger and lose your lives to my vengeance on her as I pay her back for her sins. Babylon was a fancy gold chalice held in my hand, filled with the wine of my anger to make the whole world drunk. The nations drank the wine. The nations drank the wine, and they've all gone crazy. Babylon herself will stagger and crash, senseless in a drunken stupor. Tragic. Get anointing balm for her wound. Maybe she can be cured. We did our best, but she can't be helped. Babylon is past fixing. Give her up to her fate. Go home. The judgment on her will be vast, a skyscraper memorial of vengeance. God has set everything right for us. Come, let's tell the good news back home in Zion. Let's tell what our God did to set things right. Sharpen the arrows, fill the quivers. God has stirred up the kings of the Medes, infecting them with war fever. Destroy Babylon. God's on the warpath. He's out to avenge his temple. Give the signal to attack Babylon's walls. Station guards around the clock. Bring in reinforcements, set men in ambush. God will do what he planned, what he said he'd do to the people of Babylon. You have more water than you need. You have more money than you need, but your life is over, your lifeline cut. God of the angel armies has solemnly sworn, I'll fill this place with soldiers. They'll swarm through here like locusts, chanting victory songs over you. By his power, he made earth. His wisdom gave shape to the world. The crafted the cosmos. He thunders and rain pours down. He sends the clouds soaring. He embellishes the storm with lightnings, launches the wind from the warehouse. Thick God worshippers look mighty foolish. God makers embarrassed by their handmade gods. Their gods are frauds, dead sticks, dead wood gods, tasteless jokes. They're nothing but stale smoke. When the smoke clears, they're gone. But the portion of Jacob is the real thing. He put the whole universe together with special attention to Israel, his name, God of the angel armies. God says, You, Babylon, are my hammer, my weapon of war. I'll use you to smash godless nations, use you to knock kingdoms to bits. I'll use you to smash horse and rider, use you to smash chariot and driver. I'll use you to smash man and woman, use you to smash the old man and the boy. I'll use you to smash the young man and young woman, use you to smash shepherd and sheep. I'll use you to smash farmer and yoked oxen, use you to smash governors and senators. Judeans, you'll see it with your own eyes. I'll pay Babylon and all the Chaldeans back for all the evil they did in Zion. God's decree. I'm your enemy, Babylon, Mount Destroyer, you ravager of the whole earth. I'll reach out, I'll take you in my hand, and I'll crush you till there's no mountain left. I'll turn you into a gravel pit. No more cornerstones cut from you, no more foundation stones quarried from you. Nothing left of you but gravel. God's decree. Raise the signal in the land. Blow the shofar trumpet for the nations. Consecrate the nations for holy work against her. Call kingdoms into service against her. Enlist Ararat, Minni, and Ashkenaz. Appoint a field marshal against her and round up horses, locusts, hordes of horses. Consecrate the nations for holy work against her. The king of the Medes, his leaders and people. The very land trembles in terror, rides in pain, terrorized by my plans against Babylon, plans to turn the country of Babylon into a lifeless moonscape, a wasteland. Babylon's soldiers have quit fighting. They hide out in ruins and caves. Cowards who've given up without a fight, exposed as cowering crybabies. Babylon's houses are going up in flames, the city gates torn from their hinges. Runner after runner comes racing in, each on the heels of the last, bringing reports to the king of Babylon that his city is a lost cause. The fords of the rivers are all taken. Wildfire rages through the swamp grass, soldiers desert left and right. I, God of the angel army, said it would happen. Daughter Babylon is a threshing floor at threshing time. Soon, oh very soon, her harvest will come, and then the chaff will fly. Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, chewed up my people and spit out the bones. He wiped his dish clean, pushed back his chair, and belched a huge gluttonous belch. Lady Zion says, the brutality done to me be done to Babylon. And Jerusalem says, the blood spilled from me be charged to the Chaldeans. Then I, God, step in and say, I'm on your side, taking up your cause. I'm your avenger. You get your revenge. I'll dry up her rivers, plug up her springs. Babylon will be a pile of rubble, scavenged by stray dogs and cats, a dumping ground for garbage, a God-forsaken ghost town. The Babylonians will be like lions and their cubs ravenous, roaring for food. I'll fix them a meal, all right, a banquet. In fact, they'll drink themselves falling down drunk. Dead drunk, they'll sleep and sleep and sleep, and they'll never wake up. God's decree. I'll haul these lions off to the slaughterhouse like the lambs, rams, and goats, never to be heard of again. Babylon is finished. The pride of the whole earth is flat on her face. What a come down for Babylon to end up inglorious in the sewer. Babylon drowned in chaos, battered by waves of enemy soldiers. Her towns stink with decay and rot, the land empty and bare and sterile. No one lives in these towns anymore. Travelers give them a wide berth. I'll bring doom on the glutton god, Bel in Babylon. I'll make him vomit up all the gulp down. No more visitors stream into this place, admiring and gawking at the wonders of Babylon. The wonders of Babylon are no more. Run for your lives, my dear people. Run and don't look back. Get out of this place while you can. This place torched by God's raging anger. Don't lose hope. Don't ever give up. When the rumors pour in hot and heavy, one year it's this, the next year it's that. Rumors of violence, rumors of war. Trust me, the time is coming when I'll put the no gods of Babylon in their place. I'll show up the whole country as a sickening fraud. When dead bodies strewn all over the place, heaven and earth, angels and people will throw a victory party over Babylon when the avenging armies from the north descend on her. God's decree. Babylon must fall. Compensation for war dead in Israel. Babylonians will be killed because of all that Babylonian killing. But you exiles who have escaped a Babylonian death, get out and fast. Remember God in your long and distant exile. Keep Jerusalem alive in your memory. How we've been humiliated, taunted, and abused, kicked around for so long that we hardly know who we are, and we hardly know what to think. And our old sanctuary, God's house, desecrated by strangers. I know, but trust me, the time is coming, God's decree, when I will bring doom on her no God idols, and all over this land her wounded will groan. Even if Babylon climbed a ladder to the moon and pulled up the ladder so that no one could get to her, that wouldn't stop me. I'd make sure my avengers would reach her. God's decree. But now listen, do you hear it? A cry out of Babylon, an unearthly wail out of Chaldea. God is taking his wrecking bar to Babylon. We'll be hearing the last of her voice. Death throws like the crashing of waves. Death rattles like the roar of cataracts. The avenging destroyer is about to enter Babylon. Her soldiers are taken, her weapons are trash. Indeed, God is a God who evens things out and end up with their just deserts. Deserts. I'll get them drunk, the whole lot of them, princes, sages, governors, soldiers, dead drunk. They'll sleep and sleep and sleep and never wake up. The king's decree is named God of the angel armies. God of the angel armies speaks. So city walls of Babylon, those massive walls, will be flattened, and those city gates, huge gates, will be set on fire. The harder you work at this empty life, the less you are. Nothing comes of ambition like this but ashes. Jeremiah, the prophet, gave a job to Seraiah, son of Neriah, son of Messiah, when Seraiah went with Zedekiah, king of Judah, to Babylon. It was in the 4th year of Zedekiah's reign. Seraiah was in charge of travel. Jeremiah had written down in a little book all the bad things that would come down on Babylon. He told Seraiah, when you get to Babylon, read this out in public. Read, you, oh God, said that you would destroy this place so that nothing could live here, neither human nor animal, a wasteland to top the wasteland, top all wastelands, and eternal nothing. When you finish reading the page, tie a stone to it, throw it into the Euphrates, and watch it stink. Then say, that's how Babylon will sink to the bottom and stay there after the disaster I'm going to bring upon her. Chapter 52. Zedekiah was 21 years old when he started out as king. He was king in Jerusalem for 11 years. His mother's name was Hamutal. The daughter of Jeremiah, hometown was Libnah as far as God was concerned. Zedekiah was just one more evil king, a carbon copy of Jehoiakim. The source of all this doom to Jerusalem and Judah was God's anger. God turned his back on them as an act of judgment. Zedekiah revolted against the king of Babylon. Nebuchadnezzar set out for Jerusalem with a full army. He set up camp and sealed off the city by building siege mounds around it. He arrived on the 9th year and 10th month of Zedekiah's reign. The city was under siege for 19 months until the 11th year of Zedekiah. By the 4th month of Zedekiah's 11th year, on the 9th day of the month, the famine was so bad that there wasn't so much as a crumb of bread for anyone. Then the Babylonians broke through the city walls under cover of the night darkness. The entire Judean army fled through an opening in the wall. It was the gate between the two walls above the king's garden. They slipped through the lines of the Babylonians who surrounded the city and headed for the Jordan into Araba Valley, but the Babylonians were in full pursuit. They caught up with them in the plains of Jericho, but by then Zedekiah's army had deserted and was scattered. The Babylonians captured Zedekiah and marched him off to the king of Babylon at Riblah in Hamath, who tried and sentenced him on the spot. The king of Babylon then killed Zedekiah's son right before his eyes. The summary murder of his sons was the last thing Zedekiah saw, for they then blinded him. The king of Babylon followed that up by killing all the officials of Judah. Securely handcuffed, Zedekiah was handcuffed off to Babylon. The king of Babylon threw him in prison where he stayed until the day he died. In the 19th year of Nebuchadnezzar, king of Babylon, on the 7th day of the 5th month, Nebuzaradan, the king of Babylon's chief deputy, arrived in Jerusalem. He burned the temple of God to the ground, went on to the royal palace, and then finished off the city. He burned the whole place down. He put the Babylonian troops he had with him to work knocking down the city walls. Finally, he rounded up everyone left in the city, including those who had earlier deserted the king of Babylon, and took them off into exile. He left a few poor dirt farmers behind to tend the vineyards and what was left of the fields. The Babylonians broke up the bronze pillars, the bronze wastelands, and the huge bronze basin, the sea that were in the temple of God, and hauled off the bronze off the Babylon. They also took the various bronze crafted liturgical accessories, as all as the gold and silver censers and sprinkling bowls used in the services of temple worship. The king's deputy didn't miss a thing. He took every scrap of precious metal he could find. The amount of bronze they got from the two pillars, the sea, the 12 bronze bulls that supported the sea, and the 10 washstands that Solomon had made for the temple of God was enormous. They couldn't wait at all. Each pillar stood 27 feet high with a circumference of 18 feet. The pillars were hollow, the bronze a little less than an inch thick. Each pillar was topped with an ornate capital of bronze pomegranates and filigree, which added another 7.5 feet to its height. There were 96 pomegranates evenly spaced in all, 100 pomegranates worked into the filigree. The king's deputy took a number of special prisoners: Sariah, the chief priest, Zephaniah, the associate priest, three wardens, the chief remaining army officer, 7 of the king's counselors who happened to be in the city, the chief recruiting officer for the army, and 60 men of standing from among the people who were still there. Nebuzaradan, the king's deputy, marched them all off to the king of Babylon at Riblah, and there at Riblah, in the land of Hamath, the king of Babylon killed the lot of them in cold blood. Judah went into exile an orphan from her land. 3,023 men of Judah were taken into exile by Nebuchadnezzar in the seventh year of the reign of his reign. 832 from Jerusalem were taken into the 18th year of his reign. 745 men from Judah were taken off by Nebuzaradan, the king's chief deputy, in Nebuchadnezzar's 23rd year. The total number exiles was 4,600. We're going to stop right there. We only have a little bit, but I don't want this to cut off. And so